So to make this top, I'm using this denim yarn. It's a 12 ply, and I'm gonna be using 500 grams of this one. And plus I have this velvet yarn here that I'm using just little bits in three different colors of choice. Okay. The hook that I'm using is 575 millimeters. It's a big hook. Okay, and so to start, what I did was I started on the back and I just measured on myself how long I want it to be, and then I made foundation row of chains, okay, with the same length that I wanted for me. Okay, so you just measure on yourself the length you want for yourself, and then you make the same size. So it was around, I'm not telling centimeters, so I wanted 50 centimeters long, which is here, and for me to get my 50 centimeters, I made a foundation row of 57 chains, okay, because I need two to turn. So what I did on the back, it's a square, okay, and I made it as wide as I needed to be for me, okay. I started first with this square here, and then I'm gonna show you how I made, because the stitch is always the same throughout the project. So I'm gonna show you how I made this first few rows here. And so this is gonna be right here. And these are 2 rows that I made after I finished the square. So I'm gonna show you here the size of it. So it's 50 centimeters this way, and it is 44 centimeters that way, and that's a good size for me. Okay, so you keep making until you get the width that you need for yourself. Okay, so the first row I made was simply a double crochet row. Okay, so I have here 57 chains, and I'm going to do a double crochet row. So I'm going to skip 3 here, and I should finish this with 55 stitches. So I skip 3 on the beginning, and then just make double crochets, 1 in each chain all the way to the end of the row. So the second row is this one. We're gonna make this stitch here, and the way you do that is we're going to chain 2. Every time we turn, we chain 2, and then here I'm going to put the hook in the middle of the 2 stitches and through that hole there, and then pull it. So yarn over, in between both stitches, and through that chain, that hole. So it's like doing the opposite way around the stitch. And then on the next one, make sure at the end you have the same number of the row before. It's gonna be 1 stitch to each stitch you have now. Okay, and it's gonna look like that. Okay, so repeat this all the way to here. Make sure you have the same amount of stitches you had on the row before, okay? So here at the end, I'm just gonna make that last stitch in that second chain, and then chain 2, and turn. So here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to repeat these 2 rows one more time, okay, like here. So I have 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then I'm gonna show you how I did this one, okay, these ones with the velvet yarn. So just double crochet across, 1 double crochet to each double crochet you had before. So after I finish my 4 rows, I'm going to start making this row here. It's only 1 row with this yarn. And I'm going to start on this corner here, right where I finish that last stitch. So here's my last stitch. And I'm going to make a slip stitch here and pull it through that last chain, close it tight, and then I'm going to make 1, 2. So chain 2 and double crochet 2 in that same first stitch. I'm gonna make 1, 2 together, and then skip 1, 2, single crochet, and then chain 2, half a double crochet, half a double crochet, all together, skip 1, 2 in the third one, single crochet, 2 chains, 1 halfway, 2 double crochets halfway to make them 2 together, skip 1, 2, and make the next one. So 1, 2, 2 together, and skip 2. So this yarn here, we're gonna leave it because the next row we're gonna use the same yarn to work on top of this row here, okay? And this row here, you're gonna repeat all the way to the last stitch, and then you can just cut the yarn because that's the only row we're gonna be making with this color, okay? Now, finish this row here, cut the yarn, and then I'm going to start on the other side. Just simply gonna put the hook through here where the chains were, pull it, and make a stitch. And then I'm going to chain 2, and I'm going to single crochet in that single crochet right in between them. Here, chain 2, single crochet in the next one, chain 2, single crochet here. So repeat that all the way to the other side, and then we're gonna make the next row, which is gonna be only double crochets, really, okay? And then repeat this 4 times again, which is the beginning of it again. Now, because for the next 2 rows, I need to start the next row there, so when I get here, I make this one through the back, the next one through the back, so I get this stitch. I'll have to cut the yarn here. Cut the yarn here, and restart the row on the other side. So slip knot and chain 2. After that, we are going to double crochet in the 2 chains in the middle. So just double crochet here. I'm basically gonna just double crochet and double crochet in that single crochet as well. So it's gonna be 2 in the chains, so we have the same number of stitches in this row as well, and 1 in that single crochet. Okay, so I'm just going to be repeating this, and then I'm going to be repeating this so I'm going to be repeating basically these 4 rows again. Okay, so to this side. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make 4 more of these rows, and then I'm going to start decreasing for the neck. As you can see, the neck's round here. But if you are just beginning with it, you're gonna make all the way from here to here straight, as wide as you need to cover your back, okay? So it's just really a repetition of these rows with the velvet in between them, following like the same colors. And then I'm gonna show you how I made this one. This one's a duplicate stitch made after, okay? So don't worry about that at the moment. And as well, after I finish this long square for the back, I made this little bit here. Just I calculated, I placed a marker where I wanted the arms to finish, the sleeves to finish, okay? And then I made 2 more rows to the side, so I have more space under the arm, okay? And this is around 30 stitches. That's 30 stitches here, okay? But you have to measure on yourself and see how big you want your sleeves, okay? And then make these 2. So it's like same stitch, just I made using the beginning chains, but to the other side, okay? And I made it only on the back part of the jacket, okay? So I'll make 4 more of these rows, and then I'm gonna show you here the amount you have to reduce to make the round neck, okay? Now, after I made these rows here, I have 9 rows here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 rows, okay? And this kind of have to cover my shoulder. If it doesn't cover your shoulder yet, keep making more rows before you start making your neck cut, okay? So for me that's enough for my shoulder, and I'm gonna start the neck cut. So what I did was I looked in the mirror how much I needed to from all the way from my shoulder to my neck, and then I thought that like I got 9 stitches here, okay? So 9 stitches was good for me. So put in front of you and place a marker like I did, with enough amount of stitches to go from all the way from your shoulder to like halfway your neck, okay? And then we're still gonna decrease more here, okay? So when you get to the front, you kind of like ride underneath your neck. So I'm going to start here on the other side, like I did before, with the green yarn. This velvet green is beautiful. Put from that last stitch, leave that yarn there because we're gonna use for the next row, and make a slip stitch. Pull this inside there, and then make 2 chains. So what we're gonna do now, we're gonna repeat this stitch here that we made before, but just all the way to the marker, okay? So we start our neck cut. So here, so we're gonna repeat all the way to here, and then here what we have to have is half of the size of your back, okay? So as you can see, my back has this size here, the full amount of it. Let me see if I can show you. I need it probably. Here you can see. So as you can see, this part here goes all the way to the middle and one row more, okay? So that's what you're gonna be doing. So if you have a little more wide, what you have to do, you're probably gonna need a little more on your shoulder, because for the neck we only need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows, okay, for the neck. So if you're making a large, you're probably gonna need around 10. If you're making a smaller size, you're gonna be needing less. So just really put in front of your body and place markers, see as you go here, see how many you need for your shoulder and how many you need for your neck cut, in a way that when you finish the neck decreasing, you are right in the middle of the back of your work, okay? So this is what I did for me, worked perfect. It is a little probably one row bigger on the front, just because we have there's the breast and everything, so you need a little more coverage on the front, and at the end then I'm gonna make a full row around with the single crochet, and then I'm gonna place a zipper here, I think, to close this, okay? But for now we are making this part here. And so I'm using this one because as well in this one, so this one I started here because they are mirrored. So for this one I have to start, I go this way, and for this one I go this way, so when I finish them they are facing each other this way, okay? So yeah, that's the only difference. Now making the same row I did before, all the way to the end of the green, okay? And then after that I start decreasing stitches in these next few rows here. So this one is just the same one we made before, okay? And then I'm going to cut the yarn there because I need to again restart on this side, so when I make this row it's facing the right way, okay? So just so you know, here I had 55 stitches from here to here, double crochets, and here at the end I have 42, okay? So I'm gonna decrease 9 here and 4 here, okay? So I started doing that already. I made only one there where I had my 2 chains, okay? And I'll be decreasing slowly. So I'm gonna be repeating these rows again. And after the green, I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with this other color, 6 with that other, that row of chains, and 7, okay? So this is what I'm doing now. Always make sure you are getting the right size on both sides, and they look the same when you put them on top of each other, okay? Okay, now that I finished both sides, what I did was I made another row of chains just to make it more colorful. If you wanna skip this part, you can skip, but I'm gonna quickly show you how to do this. And so I made a slip knot here. Then I'm going to put it through. Make sure you make them all the same way as well, okay? Just put it through in between the 2 rows of double crochets, the hook through, and make a slip stitch. Then you're gonna work with this yarn underneath your work this way. The yarn here, and just you're gonna work with the yarn underneath always, not on top, so you won't be able even to really see it. So what you're gonna do is put it underneath, yarn over, pull it. Put it under, yarn over, pull it. And it's gonna be basically one stitch to every stitch you had before. So put the hook through, yarn over. Where is the yarn over, pull it. So I'm gonna be doing that in between the two double crochet rows that I had before, with every different color on the front and on the back as well. Okay, as you can see here, this is the back. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to seam both sides together to then start to make the sleeves. So finish them all, because it's gonna be easier to make this while the work is still open, so you can actually see the yarn underneath it. So do that before you join if you are doing it, okay? Okay, so after I finished both front and back, what I did was I seamed both parts together, like the back part with each of your front parts. You seam them together all the way until you reach the same number of stitches you had to the side, but on the back. Remember, we made 2 rows with less stitches here after placing a marker with enough space for the arms. And then after seaming, what I did is I did each sleeve, okay? So the way I made the sleeves, it's quite simple, and that's why I didn't add on the video. I'm just gonna explain here. Okay, I just made 1 double crochet to each stitch I had on the other side, okay, all around it. You're gonna be working on the round this time with the same exact stitch that we used on the front, okay? One thing you have to pay attention is when you make this part here, is that duplicate stitch on top of your stitch, make it while you go, otherwise it's gonna be too hard to see when you have you all the way on the bottom of your sleeve, okay? Here I finished with the velvet because I ran out of this yarn and I couldn't find any more of this yarn to sell, okay? So finish. Here is a full double crochet row, very simple. Didn't increase anything, it's just straight the whole time. So I started with the same number of stitches that I finished with, okay? So after I made both sleeves, and on the pattern you should have the number of rows here, but what I actually did was, while I was making it, I was trying and looking on myself if it was long enough for my arms, okay? This should be long enough for a medium and a large, same size here of sleeves, but really depends of this how long your arms are, okay? After doing this, what I did was I made a row around the entire piece of single crochets. So the way I made it is, to each row on the bottom I made 2 stitches, okay? So it's just single crochets all around the entire piece before I started this part of the neck, okay? And then after you made the row with single crochets underneath, you're gonna make a full row or 3 rows of double crochet here, okay? So it's the same number of double crochets you had underneath, of single crochets you had underneath, and then finish the neck as well with another single crochet row around this part only, okay? just to make it more thick and and with the shape that we want. Okay, after doing that single crochet row, what I did was the bottoms, and I'm gonna put a quick video that I put on my Instagram, and if you wanna follow me on Instagram as well, sometimes I put things there. But I made these 4 bottoms here. And I didn't make bottom cases, bottom holes, because I didn't really need this. This was large enough to fit a bottom through it. So that's it, guys. This is our pattern of the week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave me a message leave me a review on Etsy if you saw it, if you enjoyed this tutorial. And also leave me a comment and your like on my channel. And thank you for watching. I see you on the next pattern.